What's up, Pikes Peak RC race news around the nation, and I'm Robbie, here to give you guys the latest and greatest news for what's going on here, near, far, and abroad. And I'll tell you what, we are in part 2 of traveling with your RC car stuff. All right, so I know I got a lot of people out there, they always ask me, Robbie, what do you do when you travel with your stuff? One, you have a lot of investment into your vehicles and your equipment, so most people, they want to keep them close, and I'm one of those people. I want to keep my stuff at all times as close as possible with me. Now, there are things that I cannot carry with me as my carry-on, but I can separate stuff. So what I do is pretty much different from what a lot of people do normally. I kind of steered away from that because, being the norm, people are starting to recognize and know what's in bags based off of what bags you're using. All right, so it's I've seen in a lot of the group chats and stuff like that where people are not getting their baggage when they go to the baggage claim, and then it ends up being missing or whatever. And I realized that some of these bags, they get targeted because of the valuable assets in them, i.e. your 8-scale buggy, your 10-scale buggy, your touring car, so on and so forth. So a lot of that stuff can get targeted. Not to mention your controller as well. And again, those are very, very expensive assets for that racer in mind. All right, so when you're traveling with your stuff, these are my tips and tricks for what you guys should do when traveling. Also, to include the TSA requirements. And some of this stuff has changed. Now you're not taking off your shoes anymore, going through TSA check. Obviously, you're not taking off your jewelry anymore. It used to be where I had to take off rings, I had to take off necklaces. You were supposed to take off your hat, so on and so forth. You're not even doing that stuff anymore. The machines are getting more and more advanced now to where you don't even have to worry about it anymore. To include your laptop, now that depends on what airport you go to, because you got some airports that are behind the times, and it's not required to pull out the laptop. They just leave it in there because the x-ray machines have advanced a lot. So with me traveling, especially to different countries, again, there's a lot of things that you got to take in consideration of, especially when you're going through customs. All right, so first things first, always make sure your vehicle is clean. Considerably, when I say clean, I want to say almost like brand new. All right, do not bring a dirty vehicle or a dirty RC car onto the plane. All right, because what that will do, they'll cause them to swab it. Then they got to do a test, and then that delays you on whatever you need to do, depending on how late you are getting to your gate. All right, so number one, always clean your vehicle inside and out. Make sure there's not, dust, dirt, whatever, especially depending on where you're at, different locations. Because you got little bugs and stuff that can get on, no different from vegetables and fruits and stuff. So they will look at that stuff if you're traveling to a different country. All right, not to mention Hawaii is the same when traveling to a different country, because one, it's an island and they're very strict on what goes in and what comes out. And I'll show you that here in a little bit with my my bag here, or my Pelican box. But when I travel, I keep my valuable assets close to me. I had one scare already coming back from a trip where my bag was delayed. I had to get pushed off onto another flight. My bags were traveling this way and I went the other way, and yeah, it got me worried because I had my controller in there. So now I configured my luggage depending on where I'm going and what I'm taking. In this case, I'll be taking my 8-scale with me. So I'm going to show you guys what I use to take with my 8-scale. So obviously this is going to be turned into my carry-on, my personal item, all right, because my controller is very, very expensive. All right, this is a Futaba 10PX US limited edition, and then not to mention the stuff that I got in here, which I'm about to show you guys, I carry on, will be my carry-on as well too. So always remember, pack your valuables and carry them with you on your carry-on if you can. Okay, so in this case, I am bringing my IDST charger with me. Obviously, I'm not going to be bringing my power supply because I'm not going to be needing that. I'm going to bring multiple batteries with me, and I'll show you guys that here in a moment as well too. I'll bring my OTA tuner with me depending on where I'm at, so on and so forth, if I need to adjust for the track size as opposed to what I drive here, and obviously my controller. And then with this, I am going to throw my Avid charging cable in here as well too, so that'll go and travel with me. All right, so keep in mind when TSA looks at electronics, sometimes they get the, I've never been searched yet, but I got a feeling they'll be like, whoa, this guy's got a lot of electronics and stuff like that, especially when they're hammering down on drone stuff now, especially DJI stuff. So again, it is probably one of the things that they're looking out for. So again, your controller will probably be checked or pulled off to the side. So this will be my personal that I carry on the plane with me, and I can put snacks in there because I can open it up and put a bag of Skittles or a bag of chips in there. I got enough room for that. Okay, my next piece is my carry-on. All right, in my last video I stated I got this for $150. Why I got it for $150? Because sometimes the planes I fly on are very small, and sometimes they want you to put your carry-on into the bottom of the plane because of overhead space and stuff like that. So it got to the point where my carry-on luggage, my soft case or whatever, would get ruined. So I ended up going with a super hard case. So in this case, I got the Nanook 935. Pelican has one as well, but it's a little bit narrower and a little bit taller, but this one is perfectly sized for those overhead bins and stuff, except them little puddle jumpers. All right, so with this, I keep my laptop in here, I keep my 8-scale buggy in here, and I also carry my batteries in here. And then with that, if I have enough room, I can fit clothes and stuff like that. And then with me packing up my buggy and making sure I have everything, my fluids empty from it and stuff like that, because they're going to change when I get over to a new location based off of what everybody drives over there. So I'll have my shock fluids emptied, I'll have my dip fluids emptied, and then to fit this thing perfectly in here, I'll pull off my axles because my hubs stick out an inch on both sides, and that gives me the room I need to fit my buggy up in here. All right, so as I open this up, in the cover here, I have my laptop. So my laptop comes in here, and it barely touches the top of the buggy. And then this is how I go about with my carry-on. All right, so my buggy is right here. Obviously my shocks will be empty, my discs will be empty, because you don't want no fluids leaking around in your stuff. But the precaution that I take when I travel like this, I'll bag this up. I'll bag the whole entire buggy up. That way it'll be in its own bag and stuff, just in case something does get loose or whatever. All that stuff is contained in that bag, and it's just not rolling around in the case. All right, so I have enough room in here. I can fit a set of tires, just a set of tires, right? And I will fit my my batteries up in here. Okay, so when I talk about the batteries, that's another thing. You will have to hand carry all your LiPo, your Lifey batteries, your LIHV batteries, so on and so forth. So you have to carry them. So with this, let me grab the 63 and the 59 here. So I'll probably just bring 2 batteries with me, and I'll put them inside my my LiPo case here, and both 2 batteries should fit in here. 2 4S batteries should fit perfect up in there. Now, before I put these batteries in here and I travel with them, please put them in storage mode. Do not travel with a fully charged battery. Okay, so things can happen. I'm just saying, not saying they are, but worst case scenario, you don't want anything happening and your batteries be the cause of it. So please put them in storage mode. And what I do is I put them right behind the buggy, because I got enough room right there, and it fits right behind the buggy right there on the bottom. Because the batteries are heavy, I got it at the lowest part of the carry-on when I'm rolling, and there you go. All right, and again, I will fit a set of tires. Where do I got a set of tires at? I just had my tires up here. Let me go ahead and grab these ones. I was gonna bring my yellow ones, but I will bring a set in here. So just in case my checked baggage comes up missing, I have at least a set I can drive on. All right, and then if need be, I can just order more sets if need be, depending on how long my trip is and then how fast I need them. So I'll go ahead and put the tires here and on the side right there, and it still clears everything that needs to be on the clearance for the laptop, because so that way the screen doesn't get smashed or whatever. Now I got plenty of room in here, so with that said, and this being bagged, I'll go ahead and put some, you know, techno shirts up in there. I'll put a techno hat up in there, maybe you know, some other dialed RC shirts or my LFR shirts, any of my RC car shirts and stuff like that I'll put up in here. Okay, all right, so that's how that will go. And with that, the bag closes easily and it's simple as can be. And that's what I travel with the Nanook 935. Okay, you can do this with your other soft hard shell style luggage or your carry-ons. You can also fit a buggy in there as well too. I just found that I went with this because I travel a lot and I just don't want my stuff getting ruined. So again, this is what I use, the Nanook 935. It is on Amazon. I bought this one for $155. I want to say they're back up in price around the 200 range, but well worth it. All right, so the handle extends out as need be and it rolls along just fine. All right, so that's how I travel with my 8-scale buggy. And then we get into the extra stuff, all right, i.e. your tools and your fluids and stuff like that. Now when I travel with fluids, right, I'll bring an average amount of oils that I may need, ranging from 30 all the way up to probably about 40 in the shock oil range, and then for the diffs probably 3K all the way up to probably 15K I'll bring, and I'll bring ample amounts of what I need just in case, obviously, because I've already emptied them out. I'm gonna have to refill them up, so I'll bring what is needed. I'll see what the factory offers, you know, like with the kit oils and stuff like that if I'm just driving in another place and practicing. All right, so that's what I'm going to be doing. In my case, we'll be practicing. All right, so when I travel with tools, do not have your tools in your carry-on because they are hammering down on tools. Your tool can't be no longer than 6 inches. Just to be safe, put it in your checked bag. All right, I have 2 sets of MIPs that I bring. In this case, I bring my Protex. So I bring all my Protex, and then I'll bring my Dynamites. My Dynamites are very trusty. They use the same hardened steel on their tips as MIP does, and I've never had no issues. The problem is they're just a little bit too heavy. All right, they are very weighed on their back end. So again, I'll bring everything from a 1.5 to my 2.5, 2.0, 3.0. Obviously my 7.0, my 5.5, and let's see, my turnbuckle. Where is my turnbuckle wrench? Turnbuckle wrench. My wheel nut wrench as well too, and then I'll bring my droop gauge. I'll probably bring in a ball end 2.0 and a 2.5 with me because I do have extras of those. But you know, and I try to go with the weight savings, right? So I have this Team Losi wrench here as opposed to one I got off of Amazon. Big weight difference, and everything is, you know, weighed when you do check in your baggage over there at the airport. All right, so you can't go over 50 pounds because when you go over 50 pounds, that's like an extra $100 on top of that baggage fee. So be mindful of that. Do not go over 50 pounds. I keep a scale with me now. I got one of those hanging scales that you would like hang fish from to weigh your fish. I got one of those baggage weigh scales, and I bring those with me because I always find myself shopping everywhere I go on a trip, or buying another RC car like I did in Guam and then account for that weight. But I always keep a buffer of weight space available just in case, like I did on my recent trip to Guam. So I saved myself and created myself 10 pounds. Not to mention, I put my carry-on here. I put it in my checked baggage in my military bag, and I had a lot of space in there. So I just ended up becoming my carry-on when I came home with my personal item, and then my 2 bags, and voila, that was too easy. All right. So usually, when you're traveling, it's about 50 pounds is max weight on your bag, depending, and then you got your other specialty items, i.e. your snowboards or your skis. Those all come in different lengths and stuff, and they account for that. I don't know how they do that. So again, these are the tools I bring. I bring them in a little tool case, and then I'll bring some cleaning brushes, right? I always bring 3 cleaning brushes with me, and a heavy duty brush, one to get in nooks and crannies, and a tire brush to clean my tires. Again, you want to clean your stuff to and from on your trip. All right, so I'll pack these away. They'll be in their own little bag and stuff. I'll bring some extra screws, nuts, some button heads with me, just in case. I'll bring some extra parts, i.e. A-arms, probably shock standoffs, probably hub carriers, and definitely bearings with me on my trip. All right, so all that stuff, all that stuff's going to go inside my check baggage. That way, you know, if it does come up missing, it's not a hard loss. All right, so again, it's not a hard loss if it does come up missing. It's, you know, it better these than my controller or my buggy. All right, since my buggy and controller are going to be right next to me. All right, so when I pack this stuff, I also using a hard case luggage as well too. Again, I noticed the OGOs, the 9800s, the truck carriers, they're all being targeted. I'm seeing a lot more people coming up with their missing RCs, they're missing buggies, they're missing equipment, so on and so forth, and I don't want to be one of those guys. All right, I've already lost 1 bag already. I did recover it, but golly, it took a while to get to me, and I was like, ooh, that had me on edge for a little bit. All right, so for my check-in baggage, right, I use a Pelican Air on this. And then when you go to Hawaii at to and from, you get this green label right here, letting them know that they checked it, making sure there's no agriculture. When it comes to agriculture, making sure there is no dirt on your, you know, your buggy or equipment or stuff like that. They will check that. Okay, so again, because there's bugs and stuff like that, they don't want that stuff going into another place, being evasive. All right, so we have enough of that already. Go down to Florida, they got iguanas and pythons, super evasive. So again, Hawaii is very, very, very strict on that stuff, to include some other areas. All right, so again, traveling with my Pelican Air, I'll put my tools, I'll put my nuts and screws, my brushes, and some other knick-knack stuff. Obviously, more sets of tires will also go in there, and then I'll have my clothes, and they'll be in their separate area of the compartment of my Pelican Air. Again, not going over 50 pounds, all right? And depending how long your trip is, you'll probably carry another bag and stuff, which I normally do, and I'll have all my work clothes, my shorts, you know, just in case I want to go walk out somewhere, go to the flea market or go shopping or whatever. I have my regular clothes with me. Okay, so again, to include your shoes and boots, whatever. So yeah, but that's how I travel when I travel with my RC stuff. Then if you want to secure your stuff even more, I suggest, if you have an iPhone, or I don't know if Samsung, the Galaxy phones or whatever, they have iPhones have Apple AirTags. You can AirTag your luggage and stuff like that, so you can always track it. Even on the app of most airlines, you can actually track your baggage as well too. So they'll automatically tell you that your baggage is traveling with you. So there should be no reason why it should come up missing. Or if it gets to that location, it should be like, hey, it's right here in this airport. It should have not gone anywhere, but you know, so you get what I'm saying, all right? Also, on top of the Apple AirTags, if you don't get them, you can also get locks. All right, make sure you get the Travel Sentry TSA accepted locks for your luggage. All right, that way TSA can gain access if need be. They need to search your luggage for any ungodly reason. Okay, so they have TSA approved locks have a universal key slot for TSA inspectors to go through without busting your lock and stuff like that. And the last thing you want is them going through like your zipper luggage. What there's a technique that they go through. They use a pen, they poke it through the zipper, splits the zipper open, and that way they can access your bag and stuff like that if you have a lock on it that they cannot access. All right, so again, use TSA approved locks. TSA approved locks, you can get these at Walmart. They're super cheap. All right, I got these on sale that after you know, the after school supplies and stuff like that. These went on sale, and I got these at 75% off, so I ended up getting a bunch of them. So yep, these are great travel locks to travel with. There's many of them. Samsonite has some. They're all in their location over at Walmart, wherever you go, whatever store you choose, Target, whatever. So again, always get Travel Sentry TSA accepted locks. All right, so that's how I travel. Again, with all my stuff going forward, that's how I'll be traveling here shortly to Hawaii. Bring in my 8-scale buggy with me, bring in my controller, my charger, the stuff I need, my essentials for racing and practicing while I'm out there in Hawaii. So hopefully do some racing. Mainly I'll be practicing. Again, I'll be testing out the V1s here, to include the V2s, the V8s, definitely the V7s, with those conditions of the track, which are similar to the tracks over there on the East Coast. It is red dirt, red clay, but sandy where the sand blows onto it. So we'll see soft, loamy conditions. So again, I will give my feedback to the boss man, Gene, over there at Dialed RC, and then play with different suspension settings and get all that stuff situated for that track condition. All right, so that way I can have feedback and give it to my peers or anybody else that is traveling to Hawaii. All right, so I got my buddy David Backer. He's driven there, he's raced there, and he's linked me up with a couple people over there. He's coming back off of a long flight right now, so hopefully he should be back here in about another hour and a half. He should be touching down in Denver. He's been messaging back and forth while he's been on his plane flight, or his flight. So again, yeah, that's what we've been doing. You cannot bring no aerosols on the plane. So if you need activator or spray paint, you cannot bring that on the plane. Remember, you cannot bring that on the plane, whether it be checked or carry-on. So again, don't bring activator, don't bring super glue, because you could buy that stuff in the local area where you're going to and stuff. Paper towels, rags, you don't need to bring any of that. You can get all that stuff locally wherever you go traveling. Again, bring the essentials, you knowing what you're going to need to use, right? So I just looked at this and I need my ride height gauge. So yep, and then my droop stuff, obviously my tires, but that's about it so far. Oh, one more thing, fluids. All right, I use a sealed case for my fluids. This is what I normally bring my fluids in, because it's rubber sealed all the way around. I'll take my choice of oils. I can pack almost 10 oil bottles up in here, the Core RC bottles. I could pack almost 10 in here. No, I cannot. I could pack 6 in here. I think that's what it was. I could pack 6 up in here, and I had to get another one. But if need be, you need to get another one. Get another one and put your oils in there. Again, that's how I travel. I seal them and then I'll bag them. I got large Ziploc bags that I'll use, and I'll bag them up, wrap them up, and then put them inside there. So just in case they leak out from their cap into the case, and the case leaks out, the last place in your number one strong point will be your Ziploc bag. All right. So again, always bring that stuff extra with you. That's how I normally travel and stuff like that. After I'm done driving with my tires and stuff like that, again, obviously I'm not going to saran wrap them like I did on here, but I will definitely, before I fly back or before I fly out there, I will make sure everything is clean, and I will scrub my tires. Obviously I'll seal up the holes on the wheel, because I don't poke holes on the top of the tread. I know I should, but most of my holes are on the wheel itself. I'll tape those up, scrub my wheels really good, make sure I don't got no separation on the glue from me gluing my tires and my sidewalls or whatever. And then yeah. Oh, here's another brush. I need to bring this. This is a very good brush, and this is going my tool set. So Pikes Peak RC Race News. That's how I travel, that's how I go, and it varies with what vehicle you bring. All right, I am thinking, man, I don't know, I am thinking of bringing the TC8, because they do a lot of on-road racing there. If I don't get to do any off-road racing, on-road racing will be a big, huge option for me. So I may bring my on-road car. Again, this is a big asset to me. So, oh boy, we'll see. I'll probably go in the check bag and stuff. But the last thing I want to lose is my 8 scale. I can always get another TC8, and pretty much everything's all factory settings on this. But yeah, I'll probably bring my TC8 with me, most definitely. I'll bring my TC8 with me, and I'll bring another set. I got another set of Jayco on-road tires, so I'll bring those. Leave my carpets here, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So I'll probably, yeah, like I said, I'll bring my 8 scale, I'll bring my 10 scale, and then we will go from there. All right, I am Robbie with the Pikes Peak RC Race News around the nation, representing Dialed RC, representing Techno, Pro One Designs, and LFR, Lead Finger Racing. We will see you guys on the next video. Take care. We will see you next year, 2026.